With this video, I wanted to share some Project 1 feedback based on the grading that I just did of this assignment. So there were a few areas of difficulty in Project 1, and they were basically across the board. This is going to be something important to consider for next assignments when this will be more important and points will be at stake. So the first area of difficulty was project description. The next area was level 4 evaluation, and then how to measure success. Regarding program description, many of you focused on JetBlue as a company, but for future projects, what I want you to focus on when you're describing the project is providing some background information. So for example, who are the participants in the project, and maybe who is the people who participate in a training effort, and also what are the origins of the program. So how did it come to life, where did it come from, whose idea, things like that. And then also, what are the objectives? So what is it meant to teach? What is the subject area? What are the topics within the subject that you want to emphasize? And then the last piece is information about its implementation. So for example, the types of materials that are used, equipment, if it is special facilities, time frames. Is it a one-shot deal, 2 hours and be done with it, or is it a 6 months experience where people come once a month and get together in one place? What is the medium used? Is it an online training, or is it a face-to-face? Is it hybrid? Are these self-paced materials that are hard copies or paper-based? And what kinds of activities are performed? And this is in general terms, because you know you're not going to spend the bulk of your writing on just the program description. Then the other area of difficulty was level 4 results. We haven't delved deeper into what level 4 means. There is a chapter that will be dedicated for this, but at a glance, level 4 talks about the final results that occurred because the participants attended the program. And the kinds of things Kirkpatrick and Kirkpatrick mention include increased production, improved quality, decreased costs, reduced frequency and or severity of accidents, increased sales, reduced turnover, higher profits. These kinds of things are beyond what is being taught on the training. So level 4 is not about evaluation of reaction learning and or behavior at a later time. If you notice, level 4 is entirely different. It's about things that are beyond what is being taught, things that impact what the company actually does. The last area of difficulty was how to measure success. And here, those of you who have taken the 5, 6, 9 class and maybe other classes where you look at majors, ideas on preparing instructional objectives may remember that he has one of the parts of a well-written objective, which is criterion. So what is a criteria to describe acceptable performance in that objective, or how well someone would have to perform to be considered competent? And the example that he gives here, the criteria is actually listed separately, but we see it many times embedded in the objective. And so in this case, you want people to be able to write a letter using a word processing program, but you want no spelling errors, you want no grammatical or punctuation errors, and the addressee is not demeaned or insulted. This is the criteria for this particular objective. In the case of our course, the chapter 15 provides some good guidelines to interpret results, in which they detail what are the different ranges in which people can perform or can respond. And from there, once you have this defined, you can actually determine what is your measure of success. At what level do you want to say, hey, if my responses were at the level of 4 or 5, then I have been successful in this course. In this case, they do talk about reaction, and they provide the guidelines for the different kinds of areas that they cover in their sheet. So for example, expectations, relevance, facilitators, presentation, and overall program. They have guidelines for each of those separately, and then they have guidelines for the interpretation of the learning scores. So once you do this exercise, then you decide, well, I need my audience to perform at the 80% level of accuracy, otherwise I'm not successful in this course. And that is one way that you can use to measure success in your future project designs. So here's hoping that these tips will come in handy, and I can't wait to see your project to submissions.